Well, folks, thanks to the magic of stopping the recording and starting again when you can, much time has passed, much frustration as well. I ended up rebooting my computer, which took, sadly, a long time to do. um, Now that I've done that, though, I do see that my Adobe fonts are playing nice. So typically when we do what we just did in the last video, which is simply activate them, it does not take all that long. Sometimes you do have to close the file and reopen it to get those fonts to show up. Rarely you have to close down Illustrator and reopen it. And super rarely you might even have to reboot. And that was the fun process that I had to take. So without further ado, where we last left off, we have our text box. With our text tool, we clicked inside and then did a Command A to select all of that. And then we are going to come back over to our character panel and we're going to click on the down arrow to change the font. And from here, we want to just look at our active fonts. So click this button with the cloud and the check mark, filtering active Adobe fonts only. And like I said, I have a lot, but you guys probably won't have that many yet. Montserrat, we're going to twirl it open, and here's the medium and the light. And by hovering, we can see a preview of those. And we are going to choose the Montserrat Light as our text color. Oh, so easy. Let's go back to Artboard 1. And in Artboard 1, we're going to use the selection tool and we're going to click on the strawberry lemonade type object itself. So we have the bounding box, not literally the type selected. If you want to apply the same font to all of the text, either in a point type or an area type object, you simply have to select the object. So before we chose the text tool, we got inside of the text and highlighted all of the text. We could have just as easily have just selected the object box around it. All right, with this selection, object selected, we're going to come over here to the properties panel, and where we see Myriad Pro, we're just going to start typing in Mon, and then that's going to pop up our Montserrat options. And from there, we're going to clear this filter, but we ultimately want Montserrat medium. Let's apply that while we're there. And we're going to click on the bounding box for the word fresh. We're going to hold down the shift key and we're going to also select serve 6 to 8, and we're going to also select time 15 minutes. So these three have been selected together, and we're going to go over to the font name over here again, and we're going to start typing in OSW to get to the Oswalds, and we're going to choose Oswald Light as our font choice for all three of those. So we didn't have to click them separately. We clicked 3 different boxes at once and made that change. Changing the default, or I'm sorry, not the default, changing the font size. We're going to click on the type object that contains strawberry lemonade up here. And from the size menu over here on the right, we're either going to click the drop down and choose 48, or we could type it in, or we could arrow up and down. But we want to switch it to 48 points, and you instantly see an issue. Our bounding box has been kept the same width, but it's gotten a lot longer. Middle bounding point on the right edge, we're just going to drag it out until everything fits left to right. Strawberries on top, lemonades on the bottom. And then we're also going to tweak this up to size 52, and that's not going to be one of the presets. So we can either type it in or we can just up arrow a few times to get up to 52 point. However you did that, make sure that your bounding box allows it to all fit. And we're going to go over and we're going to work with the word fresh over here. And if we come over to our character section over here in the properties panel, notice that my font size is not a whole number. It's 49.19. That's because we did this with point type and we just dragged our box to make it bigger rather than typing in an exact number as a whole number. So I'm going to tweak that to be a constant or an even number of 48 point. We can also change font colors, and we talked about applying fills, strokes, and more to that. So with this text object still selected here with the word fresh, we're going to come over to our fill box in the properties panel. We're going to click on it and make sure that we do have the swatches chosen, which we do, and we are going to choose the white swatch. So we're going to change the color to white. That's nothing earth-shattering. Click on the strawberry lemonade type object, and in our fill color we're going to click on that again, and in the swatches we're going to find a red swatch named strawberry, and we're going to assign that to those words. And we're going to click away, and we're going to do a file save as, and we are good through page 257. And I'm sorry that I had to break that into 2 videos, but I had some technical glitches. So activating and using Adobe Fonts and then tweaking font size and colors, what we accomplished now. If you are saving, this is through 257.